Los Angeles Dodgers have lost a legend in Tommy Lasorda. He passed away yesterday at age 93 due to heart conditions. Let me just go over exactly what he did for this franchise. He was the Dodgers manager from 1977 to 1996. And in that time span, they won 2 World Series in 1981 and 1988. He was 3-1 as an All-Star manager. He had 1,599 wins, which is second of all time managers. He was a part of the Dodgers organization for 71 years, over 70 years. That's incredible. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, I believe it was 1997. Yeah, it was 97 as a manager. And again, he was 93 years old, and this was announced by the Los Angeles Dodgers and written by Ken Gernick. First of all, I just want to we want to give our condolences. May his soul rest in peace. Condolences to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and his family, of course, and his friends, his teammates. And before we go on anything else, I just want to give you guys a moment of silence. Thank you. Yeah, man. I mean, he was just a great manager. I mean, I remember reading watching all the documents about the players that played for him and all of that. They said he was a very rough manager. He was always rowdy, but for good reason. I mean, he was a winning coach. He always wanted to win. He always had the winning mentality, just like a manager should.
Right, I absolutely agree with you. And I mean, you look at the Dodgers' history. I mean, even going back to when they were Brooklyn, especially from Jackie Robinson, you look at the history that they have had and all the Hall of Fame players in their career, and you got to look at how many players that he has touched, how many of them he has coached, and obviously, like going back, he hasn't coached since Jackie Robinson's days. I mean, like it hasn't been that long, but I mean, when you look at him, he's definitely a Hall of Fame coach. A lot of Hall of Famers he's probably coached. He's been part of the franchise for over 70 years, which is incredible because not many people stay in the sport of baseball for 70 years. I mean, let's be real. And so,
general.
Right. So, I mean, in order for him to stay involved in baseball for that long, not only is he a pioneer for the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Dodgers franchise, but he is a pioneer for baseball.
Absolutely.
And I mean, obviously, you look at his stats. I mean, they're not any flukes. I mean, 2-time World Series champion. He was 3-1 as an All-Star manager. Has 1,599 wins, with his one short of 1,600 wins. And I mean, you just look at everything that he's done, and baseball really has more than him.
Absolutely. And I want to read you guys a quote that I actually learned as a little kid when I first started playing baseball. And this is something that I'll teach if I become a coach one day. This is something I'll teach my players too. And he actually said this, quote, "There are 3 types of baseball players: those who make it happen, those who watch it happen, and those who wonder what happens next." One of the best quotes he's ever said in my life, and that's one of the things I'll remember about him the most is that one quote. And he's just an absolutely great man. I mean, a lot of people say he was very rough around the edges, but it was for a good reason. He had that mentality to win, and it deserves a lot of respect. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. And again, our condolences go out to him, his family, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and all of his former teammates.